championships, the legendary QB announced his retirement from the NFL. CBS News correspondent James Brown with more on the legacy of the Brady.
I've never heard of 600 and anything in football, but Brady has it.
Brady's career spanned 3 decades. At 44, he's leaving the game holding almost every quarterback record in NFL history. He leads the league in touchdown passes, passing yards, and regular season wins.
I do want to go out on my terms. I do want to go out playing my best.
In 2017, when Brady turned 40, Nora O'Donnell asked him about his legacy.
How do you rank yourself?
I mean, I feel like I've done a great job to maximize what my potential was.
Today is the day that the Washington...
Let's get ready for Lion King with the Roar Challenge. Empty paper towel roll, a snort, and a hiss. Your turn.
This is NCN Sports.
Schools all over North Carolina have improved their STEM education offerings.
This one is called the baby cry, and I challenge you to try it. The first thing you need to do is to hum. Then open your mouth. Go high. Now you can use that for a baby cry. Learn more at ncgreenpower.org. Act now. The application period ends February 28th. Apply at ncgreenpower.org. I thought today I would teach you how to bark like a dog. First thing you want to be able to do is to kind of make a singing noise. But you want to do that backwards by breathing in. And you're going to do it really quickly at the same time trying to make a barking sound. Or a smaller dog. With the bigger dog, you want to kind of use that snort at the end, just to kind of add a little flair to it. With the smaller dog, you don't necessarily have to do that. Happy barking.
With COVID right now, mask and everything, nobody can hear nobody sometimes. There's a lot of commotion there. The cooks behind there are talking. Nobody can hear nobody. You have to speak up loud. I grabbed the chair to defend myself, and then sooner or later, that...
The Golden State Warriors beat the Spurs 124-120 for their 7th straight win. The Bulls beat the Magic. The Raptors won their 3rd straight game over the Miami Heat 110-106. And the Pelicans overcame a 15-point deficit to beat the Pistons 111-101. Tonight, Charlotte is at Boston for a 7:30 tip. Josh, Zach, NCN.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford. To say the past year and a half has been tough is an understatement. And it's during these times that we truly value the community in which we all live in. At Cooper Ford, we continue to do all we can to pour support back into the community because taking care of each other is what it's all about. And that's why we won't have any market adjustments in our like so many fair and honest pricing and have from day one. So please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net.
Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
When you're ready for your next painting project, there's only one place to go for high-quality products. JB Short Carpet 1 in Southern Pines carries premium Benjamin Moore paints for any type of project. Benjamin Moore offers unmatched color and durability, so color will last for years to come. And when you shop JB Short Carpet 1 in Southern Pines, you're not just improving your home, you're supporting a local business too. Benjamin Moore for everything that matters. JB Short Carpet 1, Highway 1 North between Southern Pines and Bass, or on the web at shortcarpet1.com.
This is Bob Bonville at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, and this is Linda.
It's so frustrating not to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody that can say, yes, we can help you. It's great to have Griswold Home Care to help you with the things you need. I'll pick up the phone and say, hey, I need help. And Griswold Home Care says, okay, what can I do for you?
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care Pinehurst, 910-420-2360. That's 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
Share the love at First Health Fitness. During the month of February, you can join with a 6 or 12-month membership contract and receive 2 one-week passes to share with friends. And if your friends join by April 30th, they will receive 1 free month of membership, and you will get 2 months free. For more information or to schedule a visit, call 910-715-1800. That's 910-715-1800. and share the love at First Health Fitness.
From start to finish, we get the job done right. Professional and caring, you're comfortable day or night. We're the local family, you can count on us. Right there, right on time, the ones you come to trust. 4 Seasons Heating and Air. Get comfortable with us.
If you're like most folks, you love your home. You love your neighborhood and those that live around you. When you go inside your home, you see that it is in need of a massive updating, especially those bathrooms, kitchen, and great room. You know that these areas need upgrading, but you also know what a task it is to do it yourself. Hi, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I've built over 2,000 homes, and I and my partner Larry Postawait have over 70 years of construction experience and have our own remodeling business called Relive It Remodeling. We also pride ourselves on making remodeling jobs an easy and enjoyable process for our clients. We look after everything, from permits to the last paint strip. We also show up when we promise and stay until completion. And we also recycle any materials through the Wounded Warrior program. And here's one more promise. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does better quality work than we do. For your next renovation job, give me a call right here at WEEB at 692-7440. Or check us out on the web at reliveitremodeling.com.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. After the first visit, I noticed a lot of improvement, and I've continued to improve with each treatment. Thanks to Dr. Wright, I'm feeling much better than I have in a very long time. I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
War Dogs Army Surplus is Moore County's largest selection of Army surplus. They buy, sell, and trade Army surplus, and they'll match any legitimate offer from competitors with a price match guarantee. They'll match and beat any competitor's price by 10%. With the largest selection of vintage and modern gear and collectibles, War Dogs has everything you're looking for. Open Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. 675 Southwest Broad Street in Southern Pines, or call 910-920-7749. That's 910-920-7749. War Dogs. We offer more and sell for less.
Carolina Power and Generators knows that protecting your home is always top priority, and securing a dependable source of power is a simple yet important way of protecting what's yours. Just think about it. Just one power outage could potentially cost you hundreds, even thousands of dollars, from flooded basements, frozen pipes, spoiled food, and more. The generator guys at Carolina Power and Generators can help you protect your biggest asset with a whole home standby generator. It's simple. Your whole home standby generator comes on automatically when the power goes out, while you stay safe in the comfort of your own home. Call the generator experts today at 910-241-4677 to schedule a free in-home assessment, or visit generacnc.com. Carolina Power and Generators, 910-241-4677.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom, always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. You know, I've always loved Western movies. I grew up watching John Wayne and The Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy and Roy Rogers, and I guess my favorite movies were those based on real life. One of my all-time favorites, any movie or show that had Wyatt Earp in it. I love stories about old Wyatt. He's been played by some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, you know. And of course, the most famous scene in any Wyatt Earp movie is the gunfight at the OK Corral. That's where the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday went up against the bad guys and kicked some serious bad guy behind. But now, this week, there was another fight at another corral, a fight that involved more than 40 people, a fight in which some brave men and women of our time stood up for something that matters to people of our time, enough to make them fight for it. It wasn't about protecting children, it wasn't about our borders, or that we've left Americans in Afghanistan or anything like that. Those things don't seem to get Americans riled up these days. This fight occurred in Pennsylvania. This particular corral was a golden corral, and they were fighting over the steak. You see, someone cut in the steak line, and then that person started being picky about the steaks, and pretty soon it was the too well done fight at the Golden Corral. Nowadays, I guess it's do what you want to do to our children, just don't mess with my steak. I got $20 that says it was a bunch of leftists. I hope everybody has a wonderful day from the Zumwalt Zone.
Good morning, everyone. It's a chilly start to your morning commute, watching for some patchy fog as well. And then for this afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Some more clouds move in. It'll be a milder day, though, with highs in the mid to upper 50s and around 60. For tonight, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower in spots by Thursday morning. Few showers are in the forecast Thursday afternoon. Warmer day, though, with highs in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s. Showers likely on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Uh-oh.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Guess what day it is?
Now, the second day of February.
Guess what day it is?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day!
Groundhog Day?
If the groundhog wakes and sees a shadow.
Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers.
Will we see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring?
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him.
Trust who?
Punxsutawney Phil.
He's like a furry little weatherman.
Let's get this show on the road. Showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Time once again to take in the truth and freedom found only here at WEEB. Hey, if you're following the news, many studies now we have an international study checked up on all those lockdowns and what their ultimate effect was on the COVID and the spread of the COVID. And guess what? All those lockdowns that were done worldwide in many countries, even here, state by state, did nothing to curtail the spread, curtail the mortality rate, et cetera, of the COVID. So, yeah, all that time you spent sitting around in your basement, well, except you Democrats, all that time you spent sitting around your basement was exactly a waste of time. Go think about it.
All right, don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's up and running now at our website at talk973.com or talk1041.com or weeb990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located for the video. If you go to the upper right-hand corner of the page, you can get to us, you can get to our audio stream by itself by clicking that icon that says on the air, listen live. Click it once and you're listening that quick. You can also get us with YouTube. Just go there and put Mornings with the LeaderMan in the search. LeaderMan, one word, spelled like it sounds. And you can also get us with any streaming app except iHeartRadio. They only stream those stations they own. But most any other one will stream us. Just put WEEB in the search and look for the live stream. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area is going to be partly cloudy today. Rather nice for this time of year. 64 high. I'll take it. Then tonight, mostly cloudy, maybe an isolated shower, low of 46. Thursday, 30% chance of showers, otherwise mostly cloudy, 69 for your high. Thursday night, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, likely, 40% chance of it. Low of 60. Low of 60. How about that? Thought that was a misprint. Then Friday, mostly cloudy with showers, likely 70% chance, high of 69. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 47. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain and snow, a low of 27. And Sunday, only a 20% chance of rain or snow, otherwise partly cloudy and 44 for a high. Nothing's going to stick. So you can plan on going to school on Monday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are from the west-southwest at 1, pressure 3016, dew point 24, humidity 78%. It is clear and 32 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Okay, it is 7:36, 36 past the hour on this Wednesday hump day. Of course, next hour, John Zumwalt will be joining us with his Wednesday Zumwalt Zone. So that will take care of that. Let's see where I'm at. I got to go here and stop all that noise. All right, well, let's jump into our sound bites for this morning. Usually, and today's no exception, we start out with, what am I trying to say? Yeah, the best of the late night Unique Boys from last night. Here we go. Let's see if they can knock a smile on your face.
NFL superstar Tom Brady officially retired. And when they said everyone's quitting their jobs during the pandemic, they meant everybody. Wow. Yeah. To celebrate retirement, Brady ate one carb and instantly gained 40 pounds.
Tom Brady did a lot for the Patriots and for Tampa and the sport of football, but he's also done a lot for goats. You know, people don't mention before they were associated with him, they were like the 12th most popular farm animal. The big question now is what happens to Gronk? I mean, do they just release him into the Everglades?
Producers have announced a new prequel television series based on the movie musical Grease that will take place 4 years before the start of the film, when the students were still in their early 30s.
Well, they failed on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the big deal is with Tom Brady retirement and all that. I mean,
slow news day.
Yeah, it's got to be. It was inevitable he was going to do it this year, next year, when he wasn't going to last too much longer.
Jimmy Fallon did another pros and cons last night, and the theme was the pros and cons of playing in the Super Bowl. Let's give it a listen.
Pro, playing in the Super Bowl is the most important moment of your life. Con, getting overshadowed by a commercial featuring Jake from State Farm. It's funny. Pro, Eminem might perform Lose Yourself during the halftime show. Con, it's a violation of COVID protocol to admit you only get one shot.
Come on, yeah.
Pro, Pro picking up supplies for your Super Bowl party at Walmart. Con seeing Tom Brady working as the greeter. Oh, that's amazing. Pro, Dr. Dre is performing. Con, he's the only Dr. Aaron Rodgers trusts. Oh, that's good for you.
He did his own research.
And finally, Pro, if you win, you get a ring, a hat, and a T-shirt. Con, realizing the Super Bowl is just a high-stakes Dave and Buster's. That's all the pros and cons.
Okay. And they pay these writers how much?
I don't know.
To try to, yeah.
You're the one paying them, not me.
You know, in the days of Carson, Leno, they came out with some funny stuff.
Generally, yeah. I don't remember Carson missing on too many.
Yeah.
Leno might have missed on, there are a couple of times.
But for the most part, they did a pretty funny monologue.
He was 90+%. Carson was probably 98%.
But nowadays, they come
are-
out and you go, have these guys ever written jokes before?
I don't know.
Because they sure don't get it.
Well, they don't get it because everything's got to have an underlying political
wokeness to it.
Point to it, and sorry, right off the bat, you miss half your audience.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the Florida man is being charged with aggravated assault with a firearm after opening fire on a vehicle while driving on the highway. Here's the moment Eric Popper's vehicle was hit with a water bottle, which he claims he thought was gunfire, and then him opening fire on that car. Popper then calls 911 to report what happened.
I was just shot at. My car was hit. I returned fire back at the individual.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't realize it was somebody tossed a water bottle at him. Is that what they're claiming now? But I did see he shoots through his window, shoots through his windshield. Yeah, not
he didn't
smart
hesitate
guy.
to start shooting, so maybe he did have that illusion.
Well, he might have. I don't know. I'm just okay.
The question is, if you were driving down the road and you thought some guy had a road rage problem with you and shot a gun at you.
Oh, well.
You thought.
Yeah, I
There's a water
got
bottle
you.
going at 40 miles an hour. It's going to make a loud thud. And you immediately interpret it as gunfire.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, like you say, I mean, you only have the view of his camera on him, and I never heard anything that sounded like a gunshot at him to start the whole thing off. So, but yeah, you're right. You're sitting there riding along, and bang, something happens, and
I think I'd be slowing down real fast to let him get some distance away from me.
Exactly. I don't know.
And some cars in between us so we won't shoot.
Yeah, I think I'd get off the road somewhere, but that's just me.
That would be my first reaction. I wouldn't be shooting up my car.
Well, yeah, that was just amazing to me. He shoots, number one, the car, you can see the car pull up next to him on the passenger side. So he shoots through his passenger window at the car. And then I guess that guy figured out he was being shot at, so he took off.
Yeah.
And then this guy, cranks off the rest of the magazine through the windshield of his car.
Yeah. He could have hit a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's just irresponsible there, if you ask me. But, again, I'm only getting that little narrow view from his camera.
Right. Let's see. A video is going viral of a widower being surprised by his children with a very special Christmas gift. They had completely paid off his entire home. Here's the moment that he realizes what they had done for him.
I don't know what this is.
Your house is paid off, Daddy.
Oh my God.
Praise God. Praise God. All your kids pitched in. All your kids pitched in because they love you and they want to make sure you have a place to live.
Okay. Well, that's a nice moment, and we'll probably, I guarantee you he'll remember it forever. Still got to pay property tax. other than that, you're pretty rent-free. Well, the GOAT, as you know, as the Colonel pointed out, Tom Brady has officially retired from professional football, a career worth singing about.
Brady, well, I guess it's official. You're retiring as the greatest quarterback of all time. Don't feel like your balls are deflated. I bet you'll come back one more time. You're Tom Brady.
By the way, we have some breaking news for you on this Groundhog Day.
This is CNN.
Yesterday, Tom Brady retired. Today, he came out of retirement, didn't see his shadow, and retired again.
When we come back, we're covering kidney stone removal surgery live on the air.
No, I'm sorry. I've changed my mind. Oh, God, no.
Well, here's to the greatest goat herd of all time, Eli Manning.
Okay, put 45 seconds on the clock. Let's check out what's going on today. We've covered the headline news, but here comes the not headline news.
This is not headline news. Tom Brady officially announced his retirement yesterday. He'll make millions a year in retirement, like Tony Romo does as a broadcaster and Peyton Manning's forehead does as an IMAX screen. Today is Groundhog Day, while in West Virginia, it's called Grilled Groundhog Day. Speaking of, Wallet Hub rated West Virginia as the worst state for singles, but the top state for craft singles. And yesterday was the first day of Chinese New Year. It's now the year of the tiger, so remember to stop writing Year of the Ox on your checks. This is not headline news.
All right, well, let's, there's a viral video going around. It's a man who calls himself TikTok Gramps, explaining how you can imitate a roaring lion with the help of an empty paper towel roll. His name is Dan Phelps, and he's been posting clips like these for several years. Let's see how he teaches you to roar like a lion.
Let's get ready for Lion King with the Roar Challenge. Empty paper towel roll, a snort, and a hiss. Your turn.
Kind of sounds like it. I'll let him do one more. Here's how you bark like a dog and a little dog.
I thought today I would teach you how to bark like a dog. First thing you want to be able to do is to kind of make a singing noise. But you want to do that backwards by breathing in. And you're going to do it really quickly at the same time trying to make a barking sound. Or a smaller dog. With the bigger dog, you want to kind of use that snort at the end just to kind of add a little flair to it. With a smaller dog, you don't necessarily have to do that. Happy barking.
Okay. Well, enough classroom today. You also may have heard about the brawl on Friday night at the Golden Corral restaurant.
The Golden Trough.
In Pennsylvania.
It was in Philadelphia. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's Pennsylvania, but you got to narrow it down. It was in Philadelphia, apparently.
Okay.
Makes a difference.
Apparently, this brawl broke out after it ran out of steak. One of the men in the middle of the melee, Alex Rios, tries to explain what happened.
With COVID right now, mask and everything, nobody can hear nobody sometimes. There's a lot of commotion there. The cooks behind there are talking. Nobody can hear nobody. You have to speak up loud. I grabbed a chair to defend myself, and then sooner or later, that was it. Punches were getting thrown, chairs were getting thrown. You name it, you can call it cups, glasses, everything. You name it.
Well, I can see that somebody missed grammar class.
Well, that aside, apparently there was, they were making steaks or cooking, broiling steaks or whatever, and the little bit I heard was that, somebody had ordered a steak rare, and, so boom, boom, there's a steak, it's rare, and that guy had ordered his steak after somebody else, and, the guy who ordered his steak first thought he should get his steak first, but since he had ordered well done, it takes a little longer to make, and they got into a tiff over why this guy got his steak first, and all this kind of stupid stuff. So, that was a little bit I heard. I don't know if it was the same clip or not, but just stupid, absolutely stupid.
We've all been in that situation where you go into a restaurant, sit down, you order, and then people come in after you, they order. And you see 3 or 4 of those tables, and they all get their food first, and you go,
"Yeah, where's mine?
Well, what's going on here? Is mine still sitting under the hot lights in there?"
Right. Well, and sometimes if you think about what you ordered, sometimes it takes a little longer for your particular dish to be prepared and cooked, and sometimes you're just forgotten about. Yeah, it happens all kinds of different ways, but. That apparently was part of this melee at the Golden Trough.
All righty, a little background music, please. Thank you. Simon Cowell. You know him from America's Got Talent. He got himself this e-bike. And the day he got it, he crashed and broke his collarbone. And yesterday, he crashed again for the second time, broke his left arm. He's healing at home. He was going 20 miles an hour, slipped on a wet road, and went flying over his handlebars, all without wearing a helmet. Yeah, you wear a helmet, not me. I'm too cool. It'll mess up my flat top. Okay.
Well, he broke a collarbone and his left arm?
This was months ago that he broke his collarbone.
All right. Well, it's got nothing to do with a helmet.
And yesterday was the broken arm.
All right. Well, part of that is learning how to fall. Now, what was he on, a bicycle or a motorcycle?
An e-bike, an electric bike.
An electric bike. Okay, I got you. All right. Well, it happens, if you get out there and you're riding around like a kid. I mean, I don't know how many times I, crashed on my bicycle, and, you get up, you dust yourself off and head on down the road. You get a little older, stuff gets a little more brittle.
Yeah.
But part of that, is a little kid, used to, like I said a week or so ago, used to go wrestling, and you learn how to fall and tuck and roll and things like that. You don't just throw your arms out, because that's how you end up breaking stuff. You have to, you learn how to, it's just is what it is, man. He's an old dude too, isn't he? About 50, 60 plus years old, that guy, Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
He's got to be in his 60s or something. Yeah. And, riding a bicycle 20 miles an hour, what did he hit? Did he hit a pothole or something?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, well, he needs to be a little more careful.
Said he hit wet pavement.
Oh, he slid. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, even worse. I mean, you got no control over that if you're rounding a corner and it's a little wet and your tires decide to go. Yeah, you're done. So you got to be a little careful.
Well, JD's favorite commentator, Whoopi Goldberg, was suspended from The View for 2 weeks following her Holocaust comments and apology, all of which she keeps on playing the know-it-all queen.
So they just suspended her for 2 weeks instead of just saying get lost.
In order to reflect on
I guess
how important her words are.
Reflection for her. Yeah, she's just a racist. That's all there is to it. She's an ignorant racist. And, she should just shut up and go somewhere else.
Here she is on yesterday's show talking about her comments. Well, Stevie, it would really help if you would cut the volume up on this. Then everybody could hear this thing. Let's try it again.
So yesterday on our show, I misspoke. I said something that I feel a responsibility for not leaving unexamined because my words upset so many people, which was never my intention. And I understand why now. And for that, I am deeply, deeply grateful because the information I got was really helpful and helped me understand some different things. I said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, and it was instead about man's inhumanity to man. But it is indeed about race, because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected. I also stand with the Jewish people, as they know, and y'all know, because I've always done that.
Well, she always does when she was jumped into the argument about it all. She, keeps cutting off people who don't agree with her. And she, no, this wasn't about the race. This was how humanity can be so cruel to humanity. And
well, it's that too, but yeah, she needs to get her head in a place where she can actually see some words on a piece of paper and read a couple of books and maybe understand a little bit about what was going on, not only at that time, but throughout history, all the garbage that's gone on, in killing various peoples, whether it's our indigenous Indians, whether it's Jews or Ukrainians or Poles or whoever. Oh. And for her to sit there and say something like that, it's just ignorant. All she wants to do is break it down to black people and white people, and she's wrong. She's ignorant. She's stupid. She shouldn't be back on the television running her mouth to anybody. She's that ignorant.
Well, that's got my vote. Okay, well, let's find out some things we need to know today so we do not sound stupid. Rachel Maddow is going on a hiatus. In the first week of Jesse's show on primetime on Fox, Jesse Waters' show, he had more viewers than
Yeah.
Rachel Maddow.
Yeah, he really blew them out of the water.
And that was on just week one.
I think that was, he had like 3 times her viewership on his first show or something.
Something like that.
It was outrageous.
She's another one of those know-it-alls that
she's a road
gets it
star.
wrong every time. I tell you, anyway, she's going on hiatus from MSNBC to work on several projects, including a podcast and a movie with Ben Stiller. Oh, I guess that's going to make a great movie.
There's another
2 losers together.
Ben Stiller. She's making a movie with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's probably the only laugh that show would be worth.
The other night I was watching it's on Showtime, and it was kind of a 4-part biography about Ronald Reagan. Except all the people that throwing in comments about everything were flaming liberals.
Yeah.
And when they got through, I went, who was this man they were describing? Because one of them sits there and says, oh, in Ronald Reagan's administration, he cut the budget down and cut out programs. Well, that was a complete lie. He cut out the growth of programs. In other words, instead of it growing like 10% a year, he cut it back to 4%. And things like that. But it still grew. But no, they just don't grasp what he was doing. And they shove in their Whoopi Goldberg opinion of, meaning no research on it, and think they know it all. And of course they don't. A lightning bolt stretched 477 miles over the U.S. and over 3 U.S. states, and it set a world record. That was a big bolt.
Yeah.
A record number of Americans quit their job in 2021. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
PepsiCo's latest drink from Rockstar Energy is infused with hemp seed. Okay. Not surprising, this year's Super Bowl has the most expensive game tickets ever. Before I get into the prices, I know on last week's game, the Rams game, I believe it was, the parking spaces. You had to buy a parking space. The park was $750. Is that not crazy? To park one car. No wonder you can't afford to go. But SeatGeek said the average price consumers are paying for Super Bowl tickets as of Monday was, what would you guess?
Oh, geez, man, I haven't paid attention. It's thousands of dollars, 10, 15.
You're right on it. $10,427. StubHub has an average of $9,800. The cheapest seat for Super Bowl, the Super Bowl coming up, are being sold at about $7,000.
Wow. Yeah. You know, and you
Good morning, everyone. It's a chilly start to your morning commute, watching for some patchy fog as well. And then for this afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Some more clouds move in. It'll be a milder day, though, with highs in the mid to upper 50s and around 60. For tonight, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower in spots by Thursday morning. Few showers are in the forecast Thursday afternoon. Warmer day, though, with highs in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s. Showers likely on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills. 93 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He's backing down. The premier of the Canadian province of Quebec, Francois Legault, scuttled a plan to tax the unvaccinated. Legault, who had called it a health contribution, now admits it was divisive. Opponents view the about-face as proof that a massive truckers' protest is working. The big rig drivers descending on the capital, Ottawa, to protest COVID vaccine mandates for cross-border drivers. White House reaction to one Democrat senator's claim that President Biden's signature Build Back Better legislation is dead.
When asked about a revival of the roughly $2 trillion Build Back Better bill, Senator Joe Manchin said, no, it's dead. At the White House, Press Secretary Jen Psaki insisted there's still a chance to revive certain elements of the legislation.
Whatever you call that, there is strong support for that, strong passion for that, a lot of advocacy for that, and there are a lot of members having continued conversations about it.
But Manchin said there have not been any negotiations so far. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A big winter storm with millions of Americans in its path, bringing a mix of rain, freezing rain, and snow to the country's midsection. As airlines cancel hundreds of flights, governors urge people to stay off the roads and schools close. In Detroit, the mayor says a road crew is being dispatched earlier than usual.
We don't send the contractors into the neighborhoods till all the snow has stopped. In this case, we don't think we can last that long.
The audio from WXYZ TV, winter storm watches and warnings have been posted from New Mexico all the way to Maine. It will be 6 more weeks of winter, at least that's the prediction of the world-famous Pennsylvania groundhog Punxsutawney Phil. He did see his shadow this morning. On Wall Street, stock futures pointing to a higher open. Right now, Dow futures are up 54 points, NASDAQ futures 260 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is Sebastian Gorka, and I want to invite you to join me for a powerful travel opportunity that will likely become the highlight of your year. I'm headed to Israel in November 2022 for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour of the key sites and best places meant to give you an unprecedented view of a world you've likely only read or heard about. Together, we'll uncover key geopolitical insights as we unpack Israel's significance on the world stage. You'll return home empowered by the experience. If you ever dreamt of visiting Israel, this is your opportunity. Come with me in 2022. For more information, call 855-565-5519 or book online at standwithisraeltour.com. 855-565-5519 or standwithisraeltour.com.
With more than 30 new COVID cases being detected daily ahead of the Beijing Olympics, organizers insist they're not worried, expecting the numbers to drop for too much longer.
Organisers say they expect the upward trend in COVID cases to continue until the number of people arriving in Beijing for the Games tails off. Official figures for Tuesday show 32 positive tests, higher than the previous day, including 9 athletes and team officials. Members of the Swedish and Norwegian delegations are among the latest batch of positive results. The man in charge of the Olympics medical expert panel, Dr. Brian McCloskey, confirmed that 11 people had been taken to hospital, although none was considered to be seriously ill.
The BBC's Alex Capstick. Scores of Lebanon's taxi, bus, and truck drivers starting a 3-day strike, blocking roads, demanding the government address surging prices and a broader economic crisis. News and analysis at townhall.com. New Mexico Democrat Senator Ben Ray Lujan hospitalized after suffering a stroke last week.
Lujan's office revealed on Tuesday the senator checked into the hospital last week after suffering dizziness and fatigue. After undergoing decompressive surgery to ease brain swelling as a result of a stroke, the senator remains hospitalized but is expected to make a full recovery. In his absence, the Senate is again equally balanced, with Republican Mitt Romney sidelined with COVID-19. Republicans will enjoy a temporary majority if Romney, as expected, returns to Capitol Hill next week. Bob Agnew reporting.
Whoopi Goldberg is off The View for a couple of weeks, suspended for what the head of ABC News calls her wrongful and hurtful comments about Jewish people and the Holocaust. The suspension came a day after Goldberg's comment during a discussion on The View that race was not a factor in the Holocaust. Goldberg apologized hours later. And on Wall Street, Dow futures up 57 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
This is Dr. Terry Ann Sams from Sandhills Weekend Dental. Here we grow again. I am excited to introduce Miss Nancy, our newest team member.
Hello, my name is Nancy. I will be assisting Dr. Sams in your care. I look forward to seeing you.
Call Sandhills Weekend Dental today at 910-687-4423.
Eat, kiss, and smile better.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
Give your desk and your back an upgrade. Turn any old workstation into a sit and stand workstation with an Alera raised desktop from Sandhills Office Supply with easy access levers for simple adjustments. This space-saving design is affordable too. Experience the benefits of an Alera lifting workstation with a demo at Sandhills Office Supply on US 1 in Southern Pines next to Smithfield's Barbecue.
Aberdeen Prescription Shop is now open to walk in the shop, and the drive-through window and free delivery is still available. All major insurance is accepted, including TRICARE. Order your prescriptions online at aberdeenrxshop.com and click on mobile for the free app, or call 944-1313. Aberdeen Prescription Shop in the Town and Country Shopping Center on US 1. Now open for walk-ins, and wear your mask.
Just what the doctor ordered.
My name is Tony Keith of Keith Hardware in Carthage, North Carolina. I'm the third generation of a family-owned business. We've been in business for 83 years. We sell live bait, crickets, minnows, and worms, fishing tackle, nuts and bolts and screws by the piece. You can still come in and get nails weighed out by the pound, or ones or twos, however you'd like.
The guys, they know what they're doing. You don't have to ask for service. You tell them what you need. If they ain't got it, usually they can conjure it up.
Keith Hardware has been a tradition in this town for as long as I've been in business, 42 years, and they run a good business and they're good people.
I came in with 2 pieces of plumbing. I handed it to this guy, and he took off the back and picked it up and brought it back. Their knowledge is invaluable to me.
With Keith Hardware for 28 years. I rent the building from them next door. And Tony and Ginger are doing an excellent job. I'm proud of them.
Come visit Keith Hardware today at 207 Monroe Street in Carthage.
We're just an old-fashioned hardware store.
From start to finish, we get the job done right. Professional and caring, you're comfortable day or night. We're the local family, you can count on us. Right there, right on time, the ones you come to trust. 4 Seasons Heating and Air. Get comfortable with us.
NCN News, I'm Mike Rayleigh. Winston-Salem firefighters say conditions did not improve overnight as a massive long-burning fertilizer plant fire continues to burn this morning. Winston-Salem Fire Division Chief Bobby Wade gave an update this morning.
Overnight, the EPA has been conducting air monitoring to us in the command post, giving us that data. We will continue to maintain the 1-mile radius evacuation zone on the site.
North Carolina Representative Madison Cawthorn has sued to block efforts seeking to prevent him from running for Congress this year. Chris Cooper, Western Carolina University Political Science Department Chair, told WLOS in Asheville.
There's been a challenge against him. It makes sense that he is going to retaliate in his own way. He is trying to argue that this is his right as an American to run for office and that the state board shouldn't be allowed to weigh in.
Republican Congressman David Rouser is joining with a bipartisan group of lawmakers to focus on supply chain issues. Rouser told NCN News.
You had a huge increase in demand for product, and it basically overwhelmed the supply chain infrastructure.
Another winter storm will impact millions throughout this week, this one stretching about 2,000 miles in the Rockies to the northeast, bringing potential snow, ice, and more. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
For Thursday, your travel issues are primarily going to be in the Dallas area and then also portions of the Midwest and Ohio River Valley, so probably delays in Cincinnati, in Cleveland, in Detroit.
A crowd gathered this morning in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for the town's annual Groundhog Day celebration.
With my shadow I have cast, then a long, lustrous 6 more weeks of winter.
You're listening to NCN News.
You may get infected by COVID-19, but you won't get as sick if you're up to date with your vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines and boosters protect against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Make sure your family is up to date on their vaccines and boosted. They're tested, safe, and recommended for everyone 5 and older. And they're free, even if you don't have insurance. Don't wait to vaccinate or get boosted. Find vaccines and boosters near you at myspot.nc.gov.
Alternative Power knows more is happening at home now than ever. And when a winter storm causes your power to go out, life is disrupted. A Generac automatic standby generator from Alternative Power guards the home against blackouts caused by weather of all types. Financing options are available, and act now for a free 10-year warranty. Terms and conditions apply. Gain peace of mind with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts. See more at alternativepower.com.
One person is dead and another severely injured after a house fire in Rutherford County on Tuesday. A family member of the scene said victims were her aunt and uncle. Russia's president is talking about the military standoff in Ukraine for the first time in more than a month. CBS's Charlie Daggett reports.
American F-15 Screaming Eagles soar into darkening skies in a show of U.S. military firepower. The message to NATO allies here, we've got your back. And to Russia, we're watching. the U.S. Air Force's 336th Fighter Squadron taking part in an enhanced air policing mission. Here's why it matters. The Baltic states are sandwiched between Russia and its ally, Belarus, and the Baltic Sea.
Guests at a Raleigh hotel had a frightening stay when gunshots rang out. 4 people were left shot, one fatally. One hotel guest says he heard the shots and hid in a bathroom and tells ABC 11.
Anger, there's a lot of crap going on out here in this world, and especially for the black man. It's a struggle out here for us, so frustration get to us and things happen.
Another police officer has been shot in New York City. On the same day, the city lays to rest an officer who was shot 2 weeks ago.
An off-duty officer was driving to work, stopped at a light when 2 suspects tapped on his window with a gun. He was shot in the shoulder, now in stable condition. City leaders are beyond frustrated with 6 officers shot since the beginning of the year.
And to see something like this happen repeatedly in our city is unacceptable.
Mayor Eric Adams today will be giving a eulogy at the funeral for another officer who was gunned down 2 weeks ago. President Biden is expected to visit NYPD headquarters tomorrow. Steve Burns for CBS News, New York.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Hello and happy Wednesday. For the day ahead, we'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy as some more clouds move in. A rather lovely day today, warmer as well, with highs in the mid to upper 50s and around 60. For tonight, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky, staying milder as we'll start in the mid to upper 40s to around 50 Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky, stray showers possible, temperatures in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s for highs, and then rain showers are likely on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we have clear skies, sunny skies, and 32 degrees. Humidity 79%, dew point 24, pressure is 30.17, solar radiation 70 watts per square meter, and winds are calm. It is 8:14. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday. A Pinehurst surgeon and his wife were sentenced to 5 years in prison for federal employment and individual income tax crimes, according to a press release from the United States Department of Justice. According to the evidence presented at trial and statements made in court, James Rice, an orthopedic surgeon, and his wife, Susan Rice, who worked for his medical practice, Sand Hills Orthopedic in Pinehurst, conspired to defraud the IRS, evade payments of taxes, failed to pay employment taxes, and failed to file tax returns. In total, the Rices did not pay more than $2.4 million in personal, corporate, and employment taxes that they owed. In addition to the term of imprisonment, they have to serve 3 years of supervised release and pay approximately $2.4 million in restitution to the U.S. The Pinehurst Police Department is searching for a missing juvenile and is asking for the public's help in locating 16-year-old Aaron Hawthorne. Hawthorne is described as 5'3", 120 pounds, has blue eyes and dark brown hair. In a social media post, the police department said he was last seen on January 10th, leaving Moore Regional Hospital in Pinehurst on foot. He was wearing a brown coat and gray sweatpants. If you have any info, you're asked to call the tip line at 910-295-1654 and give them that information. That's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sand Hill Sentinel. And, of course, you can go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:17. Sports is next right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Your morning sports report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Brady Manick had 24 points and Armando Bacot had 19 while grabbing a career-high 22 boards as North Carolina beat Louisville in a 90-83 overtime thriller last night. Leaky Black's three-pointer with 2:10 left in the extra session broke an 81-all tie as the Heels led the rest of the way. The final 110 highlighted by a pair of technical fouls against Louisville that led to 4 made foul shots for North Carolina to seal the deal. Head coach Hubert Davis was asked about the notes he gave to his players players in the huddle between the end of regulation and the start of OT.
I told them, I said, guys, would you take being in overtime on the road in the ACC? I said, I'd take it just to lighten the mood and get the guys to understand this is a fun experience.
Multiple headlines out of the NFL this morning. Fired Dolphins coach Brian Flores has sued the league and 3 of its teams, alleging racist hiring practices by the league that have left it racially segregated and managed like a plantation. The Dolphins finished 9-8 in their second straight winning season, but failed to make the playoffs during his tenure. Tom Brady made it official after 28 seasons, 3 MVP awards, and 7 Super Bowl rings that he will retire from the NFL. Late yesterday morning, he confirmed the speculation that's been bubbling for days. He spent 20 years with the Patriots, the last 2 in Tampa Bay. Many New England fans said they felt slighted that Brady didn't mention their team in his retirement message.
Should have acknowledged the Patriots in some way. Most of his career was here.
Today is the day the Washington football team is scheduled to reveal its new name and uniforms. The monikers in contention: Armada, Brigade, Commanders, Defenders, Presidents, Red Hawks, and the current football team. Joe Theismann appeared to possibly let slip in an interview with CBS Sports Radio that the new name would be Commanders. Many have joked that the name would be the Groundhogs, because today is Groundhog Day, and it's got hogs in there.
Oink, oink, my good man.
This is NCN Sports.
Schools all over North Carolina have improved their STEM education offerings and are saving energy from the NC Green Power Solar Plus Schools Grant. And your school can too. The 2022 grant period is open now. Recipient schools receive an educational solar installation, a weather station, a STEM curriculum, and teacher training. Any North Carolina K-12 school can apply for a Solar Plus Schools Grant. Learn more at ncgreenpower.org. Act now. The application period ends February 28th. Apply at ncgreenpower.org.
With the potential threat of COVID-19, getting your kid vaccinated as soon as possible is really the right move to make.
Vaccinating our kids will protect them from severe disease, will prevent them from hopefully spreading it to other people who may not be able to get the vaccine.
Our whole goal is to help your child and your family be as safe and healthy as possible.
Kids have a spot
to take their shot.
Kids have a spot to take their shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
NBA action last night. Giannis Antetokounmpo had a triple-double, 33 points, 15 boards, and 11 helpers. It was his 4th triple-double of the season as the Bucks beat the Wizards 112-98.
People get excited when they see Milwaukee Bucks are world champs, so we got to play every single night hard. Today was a very good game for us.
Devin Booker had 35 points, and the NBA leading Phoenix Suns extended their winning streak to 11 games by beating Brooklyn 121-111. The Minnesota Timberwolves bench led the way in a 130-115 win against the Denver Nuggets. The Golden State Warriors beat the Spurs for their 7th straight win. The Bulls beat the Magic. The Raptors won their 3rd straight game over the Miami Heat 110-106. And the Pelicans overcame a 15-point deficit to beat the Pistons 111-101. Tonight, Charlotte is at Boston for a 7:30 tip. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Did you know 80% of Americans think pre-planned funeral arrangements are a good idea? At Pines Funerals, we encourage our community to have a plan in place to take care of those you love so that your final wishes are observed. Call 910-947-2224 or visit us at pinesfunerals.com today to request free planning information and see why more families prefer Pines. Pines Funerals, in association with Fry and Prickett, Kennedy, and Powell Funeral Homes, serving Carthage, Robbins, Southern Pines, and surrounding communities.
At Pool Automotive, being local and family-owned isn't just a title. It's the lifeblood of our business. The moment you walk into our Aberdeen showroom, you'll be treated like family. You see, we believe that all our guests deserve quality, reliable used vehicles, and we have the inventory and finance options to make it happen. When you buy a new vehicle, the second you drive it off the lot, it's already depreciated by thousands. Before you throw that money away, come to Pool Automotive and check out our huge selection of premium vehicles. We have high-quality, off-lease vehicles, most of which are one-owner cars with low mileage and remaining factory warranties. Something else we do to save you even more? We don't charge documentation fees. Yep, you heard us right. No doc fees here. Come in today. 500 South Sandhills Boulevard in Aberdeen, or call 910-637-0057 and experience the pool advantage.
This is more than just innovation. This is smarter innovation. This is GE Profile at Keys Appliance Center in downtown Aberdeen. This is no spills autofill for hands-free fill-ups from your fridge. This is no preheat air fry right in your oven for food that's crispy without the oil. This is an in-oven cook cam so you can check on your food from your phone. This is smarter innovation. This is GE Profile. Upgrade today with your local appliance experts at Keys Appliance Center, located at 104 East Main Street, downtown Aberdeen. Call us at 910-944-8887 or shop online at keysappliance.com. Sandy Ridge Memory Care provides all the amenities of home while providing personalized resident care and a dedication to a safe, secure, and comfortable environment for your loved one. Providing care for dementia and Alzheimer's population has been our specialty for 20 years. Research has proven that a loving, structured, and intimate home environment successfully fulfills the needs of both the one affected by dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as the family caregivers. As one of the largest memory care facilities in North Carolina, we feature 3 separate secure units within our community. Each wing is designed for individual needs and preferences. Call for an appointment or just drop in to tour our facility and discover for yourself the care that sets us apart. Located only minutes away from Moore County and surrounding areas, Sandy Ridge Memory Care is the right place at the right time on Bowman Road in Candor or online at sandyridgeliving.com. Call 910-974-6000. That's 974-6000.
Carolina Power and Generators knows that protecting your home is always top priority, and securing a dependable source of power is a simple yet important way of protecting what's yours. Just think about it. Just one power outage could potentially cost you hundreds, even thousands of dollars, from flooded basements, frozen pipes, spoiled food, and more. The generator guys at Carolina Power and Generators can help you protect your biggest asset with a whole home standby generator. It's simple. Your whole home standby generator comes on automatically when the power goes out, while you stay safe in the comfort of your own home. Call the generator experts today at 910-241-4677 to schedule a free in-home assessment or visit generacnc.com. Carolina Power and Generators, 910-241-4677.
My name is Tony Keith of Keith Hardware in Carthage, North Carolina. I'm the 3rd generation of a family-owned business. We've been in business for 83 years. We sell live bait, crickets, minnows, and worms, fishing tackle, nuts and bolts and screws by the piece. You can still come in and get nails weighed out by the pound or 1s or 2s, however you'd like.
The guys, they know what they're doing. You don't have to ask for service. You tell them what you need. If they ain't got it, usually they can conjure it up.
Keith Hardware has been a tradition in this town for as long as I've been in business, 42 years, and they run a good business and they're good people.
I came in with 2 pieces of plumbing. I handed it to this guy, and he took off the back, picked it up, and brought it back. Their knowledge is invaluable to me.
With Keith Hardware for 28 years. I rent the building from them next door, and Tony and Ginger are doing an excellent job. I'm proud of them.
Come visit Keith Hardware today at 207 Monroe Street in Carthage.
We're just an old-fashioned hardware store.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. After the first visit, I noticed a lot of improvement, and I've continued to improve with each treatment. Thanks to Dr. Wright, I'm feeling much better than I have in a very long time. I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
Rudino's Pizza and Grinders is the place to watch the Super Bowl this year and try out our new drink menu. They were voted best pizza in Spectator magazine, but pizza isn't their only specialty. Come on in on Wednesday for Music Bingo Night, beginning at 7:30 p.m. and going until the final round ends. Thursday night is pasta night. Your choice of baked spaghetti and meatballs, lasagna, or baked ziti for just $8.99. Visit RudinoSouthernPines.com to see their complete menu and other weekly specials. Rudino's Pizza and Grinders on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. You know, I've always loved Western movies. I grew up watching John Wayne and The Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy and Roy Rogers, and I guess my favorite movies were those based on real life. One of my all-time favorites, any movie or show that had Wyatt Earp in it. I love stories about old Wyatt. He's been played by some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, you know. And of course, the most famous scene in any Wyatt Earp movie is the gunfight at the OK Corral. That's where the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday went up against the bad guys and kicked some serious bad guy behind. But now, this week, there was another fight at another corral, a fight that involved more than 40 people, a fight in which some brave men and women of our time stood up for something that matters to people of our time, enough to make them fight for it. It wasn't about protecting children, it wasn't about our borders, or that we've left Americans in Afghanistan or anything like that. Those things don't seem to get Americans riled up these days. This fight occurred in Pennsylvania. This particular corral was a golden corral, and they were fighting over the steak. You see, someone cut in the steak line, and then that person started being picky about the steaks, and pretty soon it was the too well done fight at the golden corral. Nowadays, I guess it's do what you want to do to our children, just don't mess with my steak. I got $20 that says it was a bunch of leftists. I hope everybody has a wonderful day from the Zumwalt Zone.
Good morning, everyone. It's a chilly start to your morning commute, watching for some patchy fog as well. And then for this afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Some more clouds move in. It'll be a milder day, though, with highs in the mid to upper 50s and around 60. For tonight, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower in spots by Thursday morning. Few showers are in the forecast Thursday afternoon. Warmer day, though, with highs in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s. Showers likely on Friday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Uh-oh.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Guess what day it is?
Now, this second day of February.
Guess what day it is?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day!
Groundhog Day?
If the groundhog wakes and sees a shadow.
Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers.
Will we see 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring?
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him.
Trust who?
Punxsutawney Phil.
He's like a furry little weatherman.
Let's get this show on the road.
Showtime.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good.
Good morning. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Time once again to take in the fresh air of truth and freedom found here at WEEB. Time also for you to get your donuts, apple fritters, crullers, bear claws, etc. in a big cup of coffee or a big pot of coffee. Pull up to the kitchen table. John Zumwalt's here, and he has a guest for us.
Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's up and running at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the video link is located. If you go to the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages, there's an icon that says On the Air Listen Live. If you click that once, you're listening to our audio stream just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Well, it's going to be nice today for sure. Partly cloudy with a high of 60. It's pretty good this time of year. Mostly cloudy tonight. Small chance of a shower, low of 46. Thursday, just a 30% chance of getting wet. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and 69 degrees. Thursday night, mostly cloudy, scattered showers possible, low of 60. Friday, 70% chance of showers, high of 69. Then Saturday, sunny and 47. And Sunday, partly cloudy with a slight, and I do say slight, chance of snow with a high of 46. 46 being a high is not going to stick around long. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are northeast at 2. Pressure is 3017. Solar radiation, 102 watts per square meter. Dew point 25. Humidity 80%. It is sunny and 32 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:34, 34 past the hour. And, of course, Wednesday we bring in the king of talk, John Zumal. Good morning, John. Wait a minute, there you are.
After an introduction like that, boy, are people going to be disappointed. It's just me. Far from anything.
Called theater of the mind.
Yeah, I cannot take that praise, but thank you. This Saturday at 6:30, which is 18:30, 6:30 p.m. I want everyone to please try to come out to the VFW Hall. It's an extremely nice place. It's just a wonderful place, and it's paid for too. These guys really managed it well. And the Special Forces Association is hosting a Meet the Candidate night. There'll be all kinds of candidates there. In fact, I think Vic Allen, who's running it, would, even if you cannot get a hold of him or you haven't talked to him yet, just show up. If you're running for judge or commissioner or some kind, whatever you might be running for, whether it's state or whatever office it might be, I hope you'll come out, and I hope we'll have a good crowd out there as well. We have in the past, Vic's had a real good, I say Vic, the Vic and the other guys who run this, have a really good crowd of people who show up to hear it, and also of candidates. And of course, speaking of candidates, our county commissioners race is about to come up. It's coming up. We've got a very unusual race this time. Catherine Graham, who's been a candidate or rather been a commissioner for a long time, and I don't want to overdo the long time, but she served this community as a county commissioner and as clerk of court, and she's a wonderful lady, and she's decided that she's going to take it easy for a while, so she's not going to be running. Jerry Dakey is not going to be running, another guy that's been served as a commissioner, and we thank him for that. And then Otis Ritter, of course, who folks know is not going to run either. So that's 3 sitting commissioners who decided not to run. In addition to that, Lewis Gregory, who is also a sitting commissioner and a longtime servant of this community, has decided, well, he's going to have to retire because of health reasons, and he'll be retiring effective the 1st of next month. So you probably need to know that the Republican Party will be the Republican Executive Committee will be putting forth a name to replace for Otis, or rather, I'm sorry, Lewis Gregory. I didn't do a very good job on that, but they will be putting forth a name to replace Lewis Gregory. And then that'll leave Frank Quiz as the only sitting commissioner that's been there the whole time. And I'm not a fan of Frank. Frank, you're the one guy I wish would leave. I don't want to see anything happen to your health. But I sure wish you would resign, because I think you're totally ineffective and you're a terrible commissioner. Now, for the folks who believe that I should give Frank a chance to speak for himself, come on, Frank. How many times do I have to invite you on here? You're more than welcome. I'll give you all the time you need to defend yourself against some of the things that I've talked about. I think you're a terrible commissioner. And but when the others get elected, one will be appointed, 3 will be elected, and I hope they don't pay a bit of attention to you, Frank. I hope they vote you out as chairman and put someone in there that actually will stand up for this community. All right. That brings me to our guest today. One of the candidates for county commissioner is Jim Von Cannon. Jim Von Cannon is a retired Special Forces Sergeant Major, and we welcome him today. We're going to ask him some questions and get you to know him, get him to know you a little, rather get you to know him. I'm not sure why anyone would listen to me if they've listened this first few minutes and heard all these blunders from the king here. But Jim, good morning.
Good morning, John.
I want to give you the first 2, 3, 4, whatever you think you need, minutes to take your time and tell us about yourself from a personal point of view, your family and how long you've been here and things like that.
Well, thank you, John. I've been in Moore County for almost 64 years now. My family's been here for 120. I'm from West End, born and raised, and for the last 30 years I've been in Lakeview, and moved from the city with one stoplight to a city with none, and very happy, lovely community. I have got a beautiful wife at home, 3 great kids. They're all in the university. They were educated here in Moore County, and thanks to the wife and several great teachers along the way, they've been A students their whole careers, and very proud of all of them. I've served in Moore County as a fire and rescue. I've been a police officer up in Durham. At 32, I returned from Israel, October of '90, and joined the military for the first Gulf War, and served in the military until September 2018, and that's when they said, Sergeant Major, you're going to be 60 years old. You need to find something else to do and quit jumping out of airplanes. But at the end of the day, my 214 said you're subject to recall to active duty, so we'll see how that goes. I love Moore County. I'll steal something from Ronald Reagan. You know, I can't believe anybody can love America enough. I don't believe anybody can love Moore County enough. And I've been privileged to grow up here, always called it home, and like to see my children stay here, raise grandchildren, and just want to do what's right for the community.
You mentioned your DD Form 214. A lot of folks may not know what that is, but in the end, it's a piece of paper that records just about everything that you've done. That of certain things, your medals and different places you've served. Are you a combat wounded veteran?
No, I've been very lucky, and that's not one of the things on my 214.
Yep. Well, the reason, and have you told anyone you're a combat wounded veteran?
I can't imagine anything more shameful. I would never say that. It would be an insult to all our wounded vets.
Well, Jim, I've never heard you say that. I've never heard anyone say that you said that. But I'm going to ask every county commissioner and candidate that same question, but let's just leave that for now. You have not, nor have you ever stated you were, and I, you know what, I'm a combat veteran, but I'm not a combat wounded veteran. I hope, and I'm very happy to say that. I'm with you. I would be ashamed to say such a thing. Jim, you are running for county commissioner, and I'm going to be very blunt with you. And I want to ask you these questions, and I would like an honest answer, which I feel certain you'll give me. I'm sick and tired of people coming to the county and the city and the state and the village and the town and coming in and saying to us, I want to serve, I want to do what you want me to do. They get to Raleigh, they get to D.C., they get to whatever city or town or commission or whatever they're running for, and the next thing you know, all of a sudden, it's a completely different person. It's like we never met them in our lives. All these answers they gave us, all this time that they were running, are completely out the window until it's time to run again. We are looking for people who will be a servant. Now, I may ask you this again 2 or 3 different ways, but because I am pretty serious about this, I'm fed up with it, and I'm hoping you are too. What have you got to say about this?
Well, I can tell you, John, somewhere along the way back to greatness, our country's been hijacked. And I'm going to steal something from Charles E. Weller, which you older people might recognize as a typing expert back when typewriters were common. And he said, now is the time for all good men and women to come to the aid of their country. I've sat back in the last year or so, actually longer than that, and I've watched cities explode out across the country. And I've seen wokeness take over in the CRT in the schools, and I'm scared that if we stay asleep at the wheel, that it'll come to Moore County, and we just can't have that. I think that it's the time for everybody to stand up and get involved.
Well, Jim, I know this is your first time into politics, but I'd be very careful using that term "older people." In this, at least in the guy that's interviewing you, how old are you?
Well, I'll be 64, but I can guarantee you there are a lot of people out here in this country and listening today that have never seen a typewriter.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. All right. You know what? One of the problems that I have, and of course I don't speak for everyone, but I do speak for myself, and since I have this microphone, I'm going to ask you this question. I have a problem with when we elect a representative, whether it be in our county, city, state, village, town, and I don't want to keep repeating those things every time, so I hope folks will just remember and know that's what I'm talking about. When we elect someone, we elect them to serve us, and I mean literally to be a servant. And then when we have a problem, we go to them, and they refer us immediately. Well, you need to talk to the head of this department or the head of that department. In other words, as Steve likes to call them, and I do too, and Maureen, an unelected bureaucrat. I am really fed up to hear with going to an elected representative, and I'm going to make this up, completely going to make this up. I'm going to say, if I were to say to you, I wanted to plant a tree in my yard, and I would have to go get a permit somewhere. This may seem silly, but I told you I'm making it up. I have to go get a permit, and I go to that particular department. And the man or woman who's the head of that department says to me, we cannot give you a permit for this tree because we have a rule against it. And I say to them, for example, I don't think this applies in this particular case. Well, I have made the ruling that it does, and that's the end of it, and I don't want to hear another word about it, so to speak. So I go see my elected official. And habitually around here, the elected official will say, well, they're the head of the department, and they know. They know better. They know the rule. They know the regulation. And you know what, Jim? What I want to hear my elected official say is this. I'll look at it. And if it makes sense, we'll either change it, we'll get an exception to it, or you cannot plant that tree. But no matter what, I am not going to rely just on the word of that one person in this one department to tell you that you owe this tax, you can't plant this tree, you can't put your curb here. Will you be that guy? Or are you going to be the guy who just rubber stamps whatever the manager or the head of the department tells you?
No, absolutely not. And I appreciate your question there. First thing I would do is say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get back with you shortly. You'll hear from me today, and I'm going to call the people in charge of that area, and I'm going to find out what is going on, why they can't do that, and why they're interpreting the rule right that, and then hopefully get back to that individual that day and say, okay, here's the deal. You move it 10 foot away from the property line, you can plant your tree. I'm not going to know all the rules and regulations and permits, but I can tell you, common sense says that one size does not fit all. Shouldn't be the first answer, or you shouldn't turf the problem and just say, hey, not my area, call permitting.
Well, let me rephrase that question, because I don't really care what the regulation is. If it doesn't make sense in that particular circumstance, I want to know that we'll have elected officials, and I keep using this word servant. I want to know that we'll have elected officials that will look at it and do what's best for the community, most certainly, and whatever the community has decided, of course. But if there's a reason to allow someone to, and this is not a personal cross of mine. I haven't had any problems. I live in a place where I have very few restrictions, and I'm allowed to do what I want. So I'm not carrying a cross, but I do know that plenty of people are, and they're fed up with it, and they're tired of going to these different boards, and it takes a month, 6 weeks, 2 months to get a perk test or to get something else done. Can we count on you to at least listen and perhaps introduce changes? And I mean it, Jim. Can we really count on you, and you'll give us your word that you'll do this, and then you'll come back on this radio station and tell us why you have or have not done it?
No, absolutely. And I'm going to hit on one thing you just said, and it's not 2 or 3, 4 months on a perk test. It's actually 8, because the family was trying to sell some property, and we had to take a different route after 8 months. Things changed, but we need to relook. Some of these things might have been written in the 60s or 70s or whatever, and at some point we need to relook them, and they need to be updated, because life changes, the county changes, and we need to be ready to change with. And no, if you call me with a problem, I will not drop it. As a sergeant major, I had a lot of great people surrounding me there, and we found an answer. We just didn't take no as an answer. And in the county, there's a lot of great people, and we can put our heads together, and it won't be ignored.
All right, I don't want any of these questions to reflect upon any one commissioner that we have sitting now. I hope they're not home listening and thinking, well, he's got a lot of nerve talking about me. I'm not. Well, Frank, you can listen up. I'm talking about you. Now, I want to ask you one more kind of antagonistic question, and I'm looking for the truth again from you. We often hear people running tell us, I've got the heart of a servant. And that's my belief. That's what I want from you. I want you to have the heart of a servant. That means I want you to serve us. Now, the county commissioners, I think folks believe that they make money. They get a small amount. It's almost nothing. It amounts to nothing. There's no amount of money probably that we could pay that would make this job worth it. They do a lot of things on their own time. They get criticized just without end. They have to go out at nighttime sometimes to look at things. They get called out in emergencies. They have to make some hard decisions and make people angry. But you know what? I don't care. You're running for an office, and you're running for an office where you pledge to us you'll be our servant. And the last thing I want to hear someone say is, well, you know, I put in a lot of time to this job, and you people just don't appreciate it. I don't care. I don't want to hear you whine. Not you, Jim, in particular, but I don't want to hear a politician whine to me. You ran for this job. You wanted this job. You put in for it. And so I expect that when you have it, that you'll put in whatever time's needed, and that you will do what we want you to do, what you ran to do, and what you promised us that you would do, and not say to us things like, well, you know what, I'm putting in so much time in this job. And people just, I don't care. Do not care about whether or not you feel appreciated. Jim, that's not personal towards you, but I would like you to answer it, please.
Well, I can tell you, volunteering is a great thing, and I wasn't aware the county commissioners got paid anything. So if they get $1, I'll be excited about that. I've been volunteer fire and rescue. I had worked with Boy Scouts and Weeblos here in the county, and did it as a volunteer. I ran the hockey organization at Fort Bragg, which had 150 kids, and mentioned all my kids grew up ice skating here in Moore County, if you can believe that. It actually in Fayetteville, and I ran that for 8 years, and it probably took 40 to 60 hours a week in no pay. And I don't want to hear that. It's just like the military. All our people are on salary in the military. So if you get lucky, you might have a 40-hour week, or you might be working 24/7. And I'm here to do the job. I'm not going to complain or gripe about the hours. And my phone number's out there right now, and I'm actually getting calls ahead of the game, and I expect to get calls night and day, and I'll be there to answer them.
If people want to contact you now to ask you something about, do they go to your Facebook page, or what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, I just recently have retired out of the military, and we didn't do social media, especially there in special ops, but I've been advised that I need to get a Facebook page, and I need to get a web page, and not really excited about Facebook or a web page, but we're actually putting together the details today after the women's meeting on the Facebook page, and what it's going to look like, and the web page. And so in the very near future, but right now my phone number is 910-691-5130, and I'll be there to answer your calls, and like I said, I'm here to help.
Could you say that number one more time, Jim?
Roger that. It's 910-691-5130.
Okay. And roger that. I guess everyone knows what that means.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'll do it.
Yes, or okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you answering those questions. I want to talk to you a little bit about your fire. Well, let me talk about your police experience first. What did you do in the police department?
Work public safety up in Durham, North Carolina.
What does that mean?
Public safety is fire and police, and
but I mean, what did you? I know what it means.
Oh,
but what did you do in there?
Well, you serve the public. We answer police calls. We patrol the highways, and
so you were a road police officer.
Roger that.
Okay, all right. So you were a road officer. That's what I was.
Yes,
that's what I was asking.
Yeah, not administrative.
Okay, and you were also in fire and rescue.
Yes, I was a volunteer fireman for numerous years up in West End, and happy to see their department has grown. My family actually helped start that back in the day. So I'm guessing that as a commissioner, you're going to tend to be pro law enforcement. I've got news for you. I've already sat down with Sheriff Fields and Deputy Manus, and I can tell you, keeping the county safe. They've got a great job. I told them I'll support them in any way possible. What I don't like to see is good qualified officers that have years of experience leaving, going to another department because of a couple dollars raised. But the deal is, you have to feed your family. You got to put them through school, and we should never lose a good officer. I think they need to be paid for what they're worth. And the fire and rescue, first responders, in the last 3 years during COVID and everything, they've been invaluable, and they never hesitated to rush in and help our community. So I'm definitely pro-military, pro-law enforcement, and our first responders.
Well, as a former military guy yourself, and as a former fire and rescue guy, and as a former cop, I think we can probably believe you when you say you're pro all of those people.
I promise.
And and I feel like I need to add this. You're not insinuating, I don't think, that you have the endorsement of the sheriff.
No, I'm not going to insinuate that anyway. Whether I get his endorsement or not, I think that Ronnie's doing a great job, and I would support him regardless of who, if elected, regardless of who he supports.
And all other police chiefs and police departments in this
Absolutely.
community.
I've had an opportunity, and I've visited several of the police departments here, and the county's growing exponentially. In the last 3 years, we've got 1,485 new homes built here in Moore County, and we're going to have to increase our law enforcement across the board.
Okay, we're going to have to work on that word before you use it again.
I know, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're like me. And see, at least you just had one word. I've had entire paragraphs so far this morning that I couldn't get out.
I really, those 50-cent words just trip me up all the time.
One of the biggest most controversial subjects right now in Moore County is education. And I don't expect that you could possibly be as knowledgeable about education as you will be in the next weeks and months to come. And then, of course, if you're elected, in the years to come. But I would like to be assured, and I guess I would like you to assure the public, the people who are listening, are you going to have the nerve to stand up to a school board if they are doing something that you do not? Let me rephrase that. If they come to you for funds year in, year out, and ask for money, are you going to at least look at where the money's going? I'm not asking you if you're going to agree with me. I'm asking you if you're going to say, well, you know what, Superintendent, just because you ask for this money doesn't mean you automatically get it. Now, of course, the answer is going to be, yes, I will look at it, but can you assure us and make us believe that?
Well, I can tell you one thing, and there's some organizations in the military, and they say they just throw money at a problem. We're not going to call any of them out right now. But I can tell you, I think, first of all, parents ought to have a say in their kids' education. I said the teachers have a captive audience 7 hours a day, 12 to 16 years, and they've got a lot of influence on them. So I'm very concerned about what's being taught in the school. And like I said, I think parents need to have a say in there. And as we grow, we can't turn around and build a brand new school every day. And the population's going to increase, and we need to work primarily on the end of year grades. I hate to hear excuses, and rather than throw money at a problem, let's work on the teachers. Let's work on educating these children.
Well, and I'm used to getting texts that are derogatory, so I'm going to say, I know you're not saying anything poorly. You're not speaking poorly about teachers. And it's very hard to word things exactly correctly, but I want to get this question in because it was just texted to me. If you're elected and you find out the county is breaking the law, will you stand up and let us know? Will you speak up for us, or will you try to hide it and sweep it under the rug to protect a fellow whoever?
I've got news for you, and I can tell you I wouldn't talk bad about the teachers. They've got a tough job, and some of the kids are tough to educate, and some you just can't. But I can tell you, we need to be transparent. I think everybody's seen in the last 4 or 5 years, we lack transparency there. If they're breaking the law, it will stop. It will be rectified, and we will do it the right way till the law is changed.
Jim, we've got about 1 minute left, and I'd like you to use that minute to tell the people who are listening anything you want to tell them.
Well, I can tell you, first off, I'm not a politician, and as you've already heard, I'm not a polished speaker. but I don't hesitate to get involved in a problem or an issue. And like I said, my phone's always on. You have the number now if you have concerns. And we're not going to be able to fix everything, but we won't ignore anything. And I would appreciate your vote, by the way.
Well, thank you. We were talking to Jim Von Cannon, by the way. I should have said that earlier. And by the way, our best goes out to Commissioner Lewis Gregory, a wonderful man. I'm very sorry that he's feeling poorly and his health is not good. And if you haven't heard, he's going to be resigning effective the 1st of next month. But thank you so much, Lewis, for all you've done. And Jim, I appreciate it. And we'll see you. If I don't see you before that, we'll see you Saturday at the Veterans at the VFW, where the Special Forces Association at 6:30 p.m. is sponsoring a forum for all the candidates.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9, for a Thumpin' Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on WEEB, because they support our economy. When you spend local, the money stays local. About 68% rolls over and creates more jobs for all of us. So give your local merchant first crack at your spending dollars, and be sure to tell them WEEB suggested that you come. That will help us. And don't forget also that millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Sunday Dog Park.
You did something. We stayed up there way longer than the first time.
No, you just got used to it, so...
No, we stayed there way longer.
Sir, you did something.
I go, he's doing something. He's trying to kill us.
Okay, so he's doing something. Did we get fatter?
Hey, let me go. Did we get fatter? Why are we staying up here longer?
Did we get fatter? Is this why we're tipping more?
Pizza.
Thank you.
Bullets for Vanessa.
3 ace.
She raises to 20,000.
Again, raising the minimum here, Craig.
King 6 for Huck.
When you keep a consistent raise amount, your opponent can't develop any sort of read on you based on the amount that you're raising.
Kings for seed. He checks.
This is going to be trouble for Huck. Top pair.
Vanessa bets 30,000.
He's edged by her aces.
Huck calls.
Doesn't want to get the pot bigger than it needs to be.
Set of aces for Vanessa. Huck drawing dead. He checks.
That's the kind of card that may save Huck some money.
Vanessa checks behind. Quad aces for Russo.
Oh, boy. If he gave her credit for an ace on the turn, it's going to be tougher to give her that same credit now that a second ace has hit the board, especially considering she checked.
After Huck checks, Vanessa bets 75,000.
That's a very healthy bet. Huck's got aces and kings with a queen kicker.
He pauses for a second, but does fold.
That's cool. I like your style, Vanessa.
You do?
Yep.
Huck with 9-7 limps in. Vanessa with 8-7.
Spirit of the game.
She checks. Trip 8s for Vanessa. She bets 20,000.
Huck's got the gut shot straight draw.
Huck calls.
He's looking for a 6.
Quads again for Vanessa.
Now Huck's looking for exactly nothing since he's drawing dead.
After Vanessa checks, Huck bets 25,000.
Great check call from her. No need to raise with the stone cold nuts.
Deuce of diamonds. Check, check. And Huck sees what he was up against. She looks at 10-9 and limps in on the button. Huck with queen 8. He checks. Inside straight draw for Vanessa.
Check. First check.
Check, check. Jack, no help to either player.
Check.
Huck's queen high in the lead.
After check, check again, Vanessa makes her straight on the river.
But Huck has made Jackson 8s with a good kicker. He's betting 20,000. And you know Vanessa's going to put a raise in, but it's going to be tough for Huck to give her credit for 5-6 or 9-10 or diamonds. You feel like she would have bet that hand on the flop or turn.
She raised to 95,000, and once again, Huck makes the right laydown.
Keeping things under control. That a little bit of a new direction there out of the big blind.
Queen 8 suited for Huck. He limps in. Ace 5 for Vanessa. And she'll raise to 75,000.
Follow the leader.
Huck calls.
Call. Buck 50 up for grabs.
Aces for Vanessa, queens for Huck.
Both players catching a piece of the flop. Vanessa with the better of the two hands.
She bets 75,000. Huck calls again.
Pot up to 300 grand now.
10 of spades on the turn. Check, check. 4 of hearts on the river. Vanessa bets 100,000.
A lot of players would have tried to move Vanessa off her hand on the turn, but not Huck.
All in.
He goes all in.
He's going to try to move her off on the river here, representing a flush. If Vanessa calls him, he'll be down 1-0.
I mean, you definitely play like you have a better hand than I do. What do you limp with and then call my raise? I mean, King Jack, I guess. King Jack, you hit the gut shot. Or maybe you call me with 2 hearts on the flop. I'll give you credit.
Victory was just one word away, that word being call. Instead, Huck bluffs his way to the lead.
What, does he have water in his ear? What's he doing?
Our GoDaddy.com heads-up pocket cam shows us Vanessa's 9 tray. Blinds at 15 and 30,000. She raises to 60,000. Ace 8 for Huck. He calls.
Vanessa's being very aggressive here. You don't have to raise every button.
6-7 deuce on the flop. Huck checks, as does Vanessa. Ace is for seed. He checks. Vanessa drawing dead.
This is so slippery by Huck. He's going to allow Vanessa to represent the scare card, the ace on the turn.
After Vanessa bets 40, Huck calls 40.
She hates seeing him call there.
Meaningless jack on the river. Check, check. Pot goes to Huck.
So going all in, you went all in, I went all in.
One time.
I'm copying your
It's like
style.
I'm 1 to 4 here.
Queen jack for Vanessa.
All in.
She goes all in.
4. See, now you're copying my style. Got one good one.
King jack suited for Huck.
He's going to think this one over, Craig.
All right.
He calls. Let the games begin.
This is hard to call.
Huck loves this spot. He's got Vanessa dominated, in great shape to win this pot and the first match in our best of 3 final.
That's the best you could hope for.
Here's the flop.
Here comes the flop. Ace 9-5. Vanessa in dire straits.
She's a big dog here, hoping to hit a queen.
Here's the turn.
6 of hearts on the turn.
Just 3 outs for Vanessa to double up and stay alive in this first match.
River pairs the board. Huck's king plays. First match in the final to seed.
Do it again. We get to do it again.
Oh. That was the best hand I saw in like 85 hands.
Really?
I got
You're
quad
getting
aces
cold.
one time. I got those 2 aces in there. I had quads.
When it came
And then
ace,
since
ace,
then, it's like
king, or
nothing.
ace, ace, 10 deuce, or whatever, yeah. So,
Ace ace were the turn in river.
yeah, oh.
We about to get yeeted, Maddie. We about to get yeeted.
You want to know what I find interesting about theme parks? It's the fact that we go there to have some of the most thrilling and scary experiences in life. And sometimes we even repeat, as if we can't get enough of that. Kind of a little crazy there. Shouldn't we be looking for more relaxing and slow experiences to escape the routine and stress of everyday life? Nah, I don't think so. Amusement parks can be extreme, but they surely do put a smile on our faces. And the more thrilling a ride becomes, the more we're gonna enjoy it. Today we're gonna be looking at the 10 most insane amusement rides around the world. We'll be looking at roller coasters and water park rides that have given us some of the most exciting and at times life-changing rides ever. Watch out because some of them push some boundaries, to the point that some of them had to close down for good. Can you imagine the reason? Well, you're about to find out. Number 10. The Sky Screamer. The name of this ride speaks for itself. The Sky Screamer is technically that. A ride that will take you up to the sky and make you scream at the top of your lungs. If you want to challenge your fear of heights, then this is a ride for you. But if being at 400 feet above the ground makes you anxious, then you're gonna want to stay away from this. You can find this ride in 2 famous parks in the States. First, there's the Texas Sky Screamer at Six Flags over Texas, and then there is the New England Sky Screamer at the Six Flags Park in Massachusetts. Both are tall, and they both hold the Guinness World Record as the tallest swing carousel rides in the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. Carousel swing rides are not really thrilling, but that's only if you stay close to the ground. Trust me, when you're 400 feet high spinning at 35 miles per hour on a skimpy chair, you're gonna know that this ride is not for the faint of heart. Number 9. Giant Canyon Swing. Speaking of swings, there's a more extreme ride, and you can find it at the Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. This is a pendulum ride, and it can move up to 4 passengers back and forth in what seems to be the longest and most intense swing ride ever. If you were one of those kids who loved going on swings, hoping to one day lift yourself high above the ground, then this is the ride for you. At some point, you could be swinging at a speed of 50 miles per hour while challenging the laws of physics as your ride sets itself into an almost vertical position. And I know you've probably seen rides like this one, but I doubt any of them is in a place like Colorado. This canyon swing is right at the edge of a cliff, and it swings out 1,300 feet above the famous Colorado River into a canyon, which honestly only adds to the thrill of it. Number 8. Insanity. Insanity is described as a mind-bending experience. And why is that? Well, just look at it. It makes its passengers spin while being in their vehicles at the tip of this ride that looks like a claw. And to make things more interesting and thrilling, this ride is not necessarily in an amusement park. Instead, it's at the top of one of the craziest high buildings in Las Vegas, the Stratosphere Tower, which is almost 900 feet tall, which is roughly the size of a 60-story building. But as the ride swings away from the tower, the riders can experience views from a 90-story building perspective. So if you want to have an experience in Las Vegas that's different to the casinos, this might be a good choice. Just keep in mind that you'll be stepping into one of the tallest rides in the world, so make sure you can handle that one. Number 7. Drop of Doom. Oh man, who would want to step into something that's called the Drop of Doom? Well, actually, I can imagine that a lot of us would like to give it a try. Even if it implies that we will literally be dropped into one of the scariest moments of our lives. The Drop of Doom is a ride that you can find in 2 different parks in the States. There's one at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, and there's one at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California. Oh, by the way, the one in California is called Lex Luthor Drop of Doom. And I can totally see how adding the name of a famous villain reinforces the idea that things in this ride can be unpredictable and even risky. These rides are attached to other rides that are tall, so while some people are experiencing the fastest ride of their lives at Superman Escape from Krypton, you'll begin to ascend to 400 feet high above the ground before being dropped back down at 90 miles per hour. Are you down for the challenge? Number 6. Slingshot. You can find the slingshots in lots of amusement parks around the world, and you can easily identify it as soon as you see people screaming for their lives as they're launched and suspended into mid-air while holding onto thin cables. It definitely looks and feels like a slingshot. The largest one in the world is in Orlando, Florida, at a park called Magical Midway. This one soars up to 400 meters above ground at a speed of 90 miles per hour, which really sounds like a thrilling experience. Now, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there's an interesting and sad fact I must point out about this kind of ride. A few years ago, a woman broke her leg while riding the slingshot at Luna Park in France. One of the cables snapped, which made the vehicle lose control. This caused the injury, and the poor woman and her companion had to wait for an hour before being rescued by firefighters. Fortunately, though, no lives were lost, but this kind of incident shows you how crazy things can get while riding the slingshot. Number 5. The Smiler. Is it supposed to make us smile? Because I don't see anything about this ride that would make me smile. Instead, I'd probably scream, and some of you might even cry as you make it through the ride with the most inversions in the world. That's right, the Smiler doesn't have 1, 2, or 3 inversions like conventional rides do, but instead, this one has 14, which means that you'll be put upside down more than 10 times while riding on it. It's not as tall or fast as other rides, but all those inversions are more than enough to make for an intense amusement park experience. And to make things even more interesting, the ride allows up to 5 trains to run at the same time, which means you can see 1,200 different people get on this ride within an hour time frame. In 2015, a group of riders collided with an empty train, which caused some injuries and definitely didn't make anyone smile. Instead, there were tons of lawsuits that turned into apologies, improvements, and promises to never let that happen again. This roller coaster is in Alton Towers, UK, so make sure you check that out someday and see if you can put a smile while you're there. Number 4. X2. Have you noticed a common theme on this list? Well, any list that includes extreme and insane amusement park rides is likely to include more than just one entry that's a part of a Six Flags park. So far, we've seen the Skyscreamer and the Drop of Doom, which are both in different Six Flags parks around the US. Now, let me introduce you to another crazy ride. It's called the X2, and this one is at Six Flags Magic Mountain. The ride is supposed to be a multi-sensorial experience, as there will be loud music, sound effects, and even fire being blown at you while you go on all the drives, twists, and loops that the ride has to offer. It's like going on a 4-dimensional ride in which you'll feel transported to another world for only a few minutes. Although honestly, it might feel like an eternity. Number 3. Action Park's Cannonball Loop. Alright, Action Park doesn't exist anymore, but it was worth adding to the list since it was home to the Cannonball Loop, one of the scariest and most known rides in this controversial park. The ride was first introduced to the public towards the end of the 80s. However, not many people got to experience the thrills of it, and it was for a good reason. There were rumors that a child got stuck at the top of the ride, and other people were saying that test dummies came out of the ride dismembered. Which is pretty horrifying, actually, knowing that there could have been an actual human there. However, the most shocking thing about this ride was the fact that a lot of the staff at Action Park were used as human guinea pigs to test this looping water slide. I'm sure many staff enjoyed being able to test things before anyone else, but it must not be that exciting when you're testing a ride that could eventually end your life. Eventually, the looping water slide, as well as the other crazy rides at Action Park, had to close, and now they just exist as the memory of what a crazy water park can look like. Only to live on, narrated by a handsome man who may or may not work for an amazing Top 10 5 channel. Wink wink nudge nudge. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Can you imagine what it would be like to be suspended in mid-air without anything attaching you or your vehicle to the roller coaster? That sounds like a nightmare. However, that's what we see in the picture I'm showing you today. Perhaps the picture is not linked to a ride that we know of, but I know about a ride that created experiences similar to the one you see here. Number 2. Human Trebuchet. This never looked good. From the start, you can see it had the potential to hurt human lives. The ride consisted in having people crawl into a medieval-style catapult to later be launched at 60 miles per hour through the air before finally coming to a full stop by landing on a net, which was about 75 feet away. Some riders suffered injuries, and a lot of them were really bad. There was someone who ended up with a broken pelvis, for Pete's sake. However, the worst of them all was the 19-year-old guy who went on it back in 2002. He missed the landing net and did not survive to tell the story. I guess that showed the Middlemore Park authorities how dangerous their ride was. But not all insane rides have to end up in tragedy. Some of them just require you to be brave enough to face your fears. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works. Number 1. Sky jump. Remember how we said the Stratosphere is one of the craziest towers in Las Vegas? Well, let me point out that Insanity is not the only ride they have. They also have one called Sky Jump, which literally makes you jump off from the top of the tower and then lands you on the ground. It sounds insane and hard to believe, but this ride exists, and in order to keep you safe, they attach you to some cables and they even make you wear jumpsuits. These cables help you have a controlled free fall as you make your way down to the famous Las Vegas Strip. If soaring around tall buildings was your dream, then this is the ride for you. And honestly, this looks like the closest you can get to having a superhero experience. Would you dare to go on one of these rides? Or maybe you already did. Let us know about your experiences with insane rides, and of course, let us know if there are any other crazy rides that I didn't cover. With all that said and done, that's our video for today, folks, and I
Mega projects are built to serve mankind, from massive dams producing electricity to deep tunnels boring through the earth. For the next 40 some odd years, they stockpiled as many weapons as they could. Number 11, Three Gorges Dam. Another civil engineering wonder of the world, the Three Gorges Dam in China is the largest hydroelectric dam in the excavation areas, and 100 workers died while building it. But the biggest impact of the dam is still on the environment, as nearby fish populations are in decline and pollution is increasing as the square mile area, including 4 man-made islands and a blue lagoon complete with 2 marinas. There will even be a massive luxury stadium costing $45 billion alone. Lusail City will also be equipped with the latest and greatest technologies, making this a smart city too, in order to ensure both safety and maximum operational efficiency. Number 9. Jubail Industrial City. Considering that Jubail went from being a small fishing village to now the largest civil engineering project in the world, development marks the first time in its history that the terminal core will be expanded. So Terminal 5 is, and they really need to take their time with this mega project, because one false move and you're looking at a serious nuclear accident. Once it's finished, the 3 buildings that make up ITER will have a cost of about $20 billion to create. And as of 2020, the project was about 60% complete, with the construction of the reactor complex and the 10 different types of concrete shields completed. The structure being formed with over 10 million cubic feet of concrete to hold back the water when the reservoir is full. And how much is this entire project going to cost when all is said and done? $5 billion. Sydney is the tallest building in Sydney and the 4th largest in Australia. This skyscraper has been through a lot, beginning construction in 2016 and finally topping out in 2020. One Bangaroo is one of the wildest mega projects the world has ever seen. In San Francisco, your mind probably goes straight to the Golden Gate Bridge. But there's another bridge on the city limits that's still impressive in its own right, the Bay Bridge. Now keep in mind, the Bay Bridge has fallen victim to multiple earth-shattering earthquakes, and so any and all structures need to be able to withstand the next big one. The Bay Bridge is much newer and cost around $6.4 billion to build in Washington State, going for a nice little joyride down State Route 520. And make sure you roll over the Evergreen. The roadway is elevated 20 feet above the water, and seeing as how the bridge floats on the water, it uses 58 separate anchors to keep everything in place. Number 1. International Space Station. If we're going to talk about the most incredible engineering feat of all time, then we have to go to space. Because if you thought construction here on Earth took a lot of work, then imagine doing it in the final frontier. The International Space Station, or ISS, weighs 460 tons, is the size of a football field, and floats above us 240 miles above Earth. It took 5 teams from 15 countries to construct this masterclass in engineering that all started in 1984. The ISS is so big that construction couldn't even be completed on Earth, seeing as how there are no rockets in existence that could possibly propel it to its great heights. Everything was launched piece by piece and then slowly assembled in the dark void. Astronauts and cosmonauts have been going back and forth and even living up there for the past 20 years or so to develop and prepare the station for research and exploration. And you can rest assured that more additions to the ISS will be made as time goes on.
Watch our future playlist for more top 15 videos about the future. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best future.
Hey guys, I have a cool video. An internal conveyor belt so it can efficiently dispose of unneeded earth. Number 3. You probably never would have guessed this machine even existed. The segmental bridge launching machine is able to build bridges for trains at an exceptionally fast pace. This machine is used a lot in China, where infrastructure projects need to get built to sustain their rapidly expanding population.